Hey friends, this is Dolynny TV. Glad to have you aboard as we get set up to discuss more Edmonton Oilers today. And we've got actual news. Something actually happened today. Captain Skates continue. We've got the Young Stars Classic roster. We'll worry about that in another video later on this evening. But as we get geared up for what is main camp coming next week, we have signed another PTO. Adam Erne is the name you need to know. And of course, well, oh my goodness, there's Ken Holland grabbing another Detroit Red Wing, former Detroit Red Wing. We'll have fun with that one in a matter of moments. But friends, welcome aboard. Glad to have you here. What I will say is normally at this time I pitch the subscribe button. But YouTube sends me a little questionnaire every week just asking me if I know what's going on with my channel. And I've heard it from Patrick actually already before. But basically YouTube was like, how many people watch on TVs when they're watching Dolynny TV? I'm like, 18%. It's actually 22, which is absolutely insane to me because obviously, I mean, I've always been a mobile phone or desktop kind of guy to watch my YouTube. But yeah, no, that's where we're sitting at is a grand total of 22% of you right now. So 1 in 5 of you are watching this video on a TV. And when I pitch that subscribe button, it's a little bit more difficult for you. So if you've done that, I appreciate that. And if you have hit that subscribe button here on Dolynny TV, very much so appreciate it. Enough about me. I'll shut up now and we'll get on into Adam Erne, the PTO. 8 goals, 10 assists, 61 games played last season, 55 shots, a 15% shooting percentage, so I'd expect a dip, and 13 and a half minutes roughly time on ice last year. He's 28, he's a left wing, left-hand shot, 6'1", 212, so a little bit more well-built, a little bit more rugged, right, is what you would say in terms of the kind of definition of the player. When you're talking about 212 at 6'1", that's a pretty big guy compared to what the Oilers have on the wings in certain positions. But it's good to see, right? Adam Erne, competition at camp. I think number one, when you have to break this move down, it is simply you just have to reach the veteran maximum. And the Oilers obviously look to be appearing to play a lot of kids this year. So that'll be where it'll really get interesting in terms of playing a guy like Adam Erne and Sam Gagner and Brandon Sutter, but I'll have more on that in a moment. So what I want to do now is break down Adam Erne's career stats, and this is the really interesting part, is we talk about 8 goals on a 14.5 shooting percentage. He's had a 15.5 shooting percentage before, which is his career high in goals, 11 of them in 45 games in 2021 with the Detroit Red Wings, potentially, and well, most certainly his best season at the NHL level. Career high in points, tied with that 65-game campaign in 18-19 when he was back with the Lightning. But you look at this here. He's never amounted to playing more than 14 minutes a night. 12-21, average career ice time, 9.2 shooting percentage career-wise, 40 goals, 49 assists, 0.25 points per game. So you're talking about a guy who's going to score, just over 20, 21 points a season at most in an 82-game campaign, which he's never done other than that 79 season last year. So you look at that. That's tough, right? I don't think any of us are sitting here saying, Adam Erne's our guy. I can't believe we waited this long to pick him up. He's the missing piece. I don't think anyone's saying that, which is fine and dandy because nobody needs to be saying that. So that's where we sit, right? The Oilers add a third PTO to camp. Like I said, it's more about the veteran minimum and working that into the whole situation and trying to make this Oilers team kind of cohesive throughout the preseason as we try to figure out, right, Brandon Sutter's role, Sam Gagner's role, potentially Adam Erne's role. Nothing saying he couldn't go to Bakersfield. So there's a whole bunch of things that could play out here for the Edmonton Oilers. And realistically, that is where we get to. Thankfully, I was driving home at 5 o'clock, so that meant I could catch Ken Holland, the first little bit anyway, before getting into this video, on Oilers Now this afternoon. And he discussed his PTO plan. I would have waited this video out, I'll tell you that. But obviously, breaking news, Edmonton Oilers, it's Dolynny TV. You know how this rolls. Each player gets 3 games is what Ken Holland kind of laid out in his interview with Bob Stauffer on the program tonight, Oilers Now. And then they also get what they earn after. So what I mean by that, and basically what that's meant to signify, is if those players, Sutter, Gagner, and of course, yes, now Adam Erne, go out there and earn extra games in the preseason, they will get them. There's no, you play 3 games, you're done, whether we sign you or not. That's not how it's going to work here. Ken Holland talked about 4, 5, right? He didn't mention 6, so it might be just one of those situations. If a guy's made the team by game number 5, he's made the team, and that's all there is to it. If he's not making the team by game 5, goodbye, gone. We're not playing you a 6th one. So we'll kind of see that same situation play out that we did last year with our PTO players. So we'll remain to see what happens, of course. But at the other rate, too, Mr. Ken Holland mentioning today about Brandon Sutter. And I do want to make mention of this because obviously it's a conversation. We've had the conversation about Brett Murray here quite a bit the past week since Mr. Bob Stauffer brought him up on his program and just started raving about him. Well, you know what? A guy that's getting a lot more attention here the last few days is Brandon Sutter, who now Ken Holland putting out their feelers saying he looks good, not great, not better than I expected, but good. So I would assume now it's just a test of get him into preseason games. And as Bob Stauffer said on Oilers Now today, it's simply just get him into games. If he fits the role, why wouldn't you take him for the role? And that's kind of what Ken Holland agreed to today is just, yeah, you know what? He's kind of here for a reason, more or less, to possibly vie for that 4th line center role. He's a right-hand shot, defensively reliable, wins faceoffs. Come on, what's not to like? But he just needs to be up to game speed. And I think if he is, then that's likely who the Oilers are going to sign based on how things are trending this week. Friends, that's all I got for you. We'll go over the Young Stars Classic roster here in a little bit later on this evening. I got some stuff to attend to. I'd like to eat dinner at some point, so we'll get there and then we'll get going with that video later on this evening. But thank you so much for being aboard tonight. And like I started off, what I will do right now is ask you if you are new to the channel, and it's not difficult for you because you're not watching on a TV. If you'd be so kind to consider hitting that subscribe button here on Dolynny TV, that would be greatly appreciated. I'd love to have you aboard for all things Edmonton Oilers this season and into the playoffs because we're going to go on one heck of a ride, friends. I'm Tyson, Dolynny TV, up on out of here.